You are watching Leicester Till I Die TV.
Watch us on YouTube.
Listen on your favourite podcast platform.
Or ask your smart speaker
To play the podcast Leicester Till I Die.
Hello.
Oh, that worked out brilliantly for us, didn't it, Chris?
It looks all right. How you doing?
I'm doing rather well. Hello, everybody who's here. This is LTiDtv, and we are back. We are here for the champions of all champions prediction league. We have, of course, seen a topsy-turvy season in the championship. Have we seen a topsy-turvy end to the season? There was European spots, there was points, goal difference on the line. There was a title to decide as well. How did we do?
Battle as well, young man. Don't forget that.
What was that?
Relegation battle as well.
Yeah, although I think we had two Rotherhams in the group. Definitely Paul and Barry, if you're going to say. There's definitely two Rotherhams of the group. But who's won it? Who's finished where? How well or how bad have they done? That's what we're here to discuss. It is, as you can tell, the chief is on top. The boss is at the bottom. It is me, Brad. It is me, Chris. Chris, are you looking forward to this? I know you know the outcomes, but we're not like the BBC. There's been no brown envelopes passed. It is all honest. Looking forward to this show, mate.
I am. I've referred to a few of us by the teams in the championship, so I won't tell you what I've called you. Probably
Wednesday.
I spoke to Steve earlier. He wants to know the details of the winner to send the prize out, so it's all good.
Well, that is good. I mean, poor Steve, bless him. He's tried to be here as often as possible. He's not really managed it this season, but family, work, and everything else takes priority. So we understand that. We always appreciate Steve whenever he is able to make it or get involved. So it's fantastic news. And there's going to be one lucky winner of the said prizes, isn't it, Chris? It's been a roller coaster of a season.
It has. And as Jamie says there, I think you're already on the beach, mate.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's typical, isn't it? British weather comes out for a week and my skin goes from milk bottle white to slightly brown and red.
Let's just be honest here, guys. Whoever's watching, you've seen Brad when he's been down in Cornwall. Not a speck of brown on him. He's whiter than when he goes. He spends a few days in Leicester and look at him.
Glorious sunshine for a glorious team, Chris, isn't it? Can't beat the sun. I didn't even go out for the parade celebrations either to catch the sun. I just did it in my own back garden. That's the best way to do it, Chris. Away from the people. That's how I do the best.
I mean, it looked a great atmosphere, but it just went. I got bored. I was watching it online live, and I got bored. I mean, it was supposed to start at 11:30. Didn't start till 12. Then there was still late setting off. Then when they actually finally got into the town, I don't know how long I mean, when I used to go to work and used to catch the bus, I was off the bus and at work in a few minutes. They seem to take, I don't know whether football players aren't used to the simple things like getting on and off buses. But fuck this, I'm not waiting for this. It bored the socks off me, I'm afraid.
You're starting to sound like a Man City fan, Chris. Maybe you're just bored of seeing us winning it all because we've done it all, haven't we?
No. I just don't know why it took them so long when the buses finally pulled up, which was late. And we had to listen to some inane guy trying to interview Steve Walsh and stir the crowd up. But why does it take them so long? The crowd have been there since the early hours, and their players cannot be asked to get off the bus and get up there and show themselves for the fans.
Yeah, it doesn't always go to plan, does it? The celebrations. I mean, obviously, we know
It's
the
not
best
like we're
one
not
we
used
had.
to it. We've done it before.
Yeah, I know, Chris. Like I said, League One, done it. Championship, this second time. Maybe the players were still hungover from the party at Enzo's. Who knows? But it didn't quite live up to expectations. But then again, unlike certain teams, we've celebrated bigger things. With the greatest respect to the Championship, I mean, it's very hard to top the last title we won, Chris, because the last title we won, just in case no one knows, it's Premier League celebrations. We had $250,000 out in Victoria Park. So, I don't know. Bit like this club, though, with its transfer actions and its secret information about what funds are available, isn't it? It all went a little bit Pete Tong. But still, I'm sure, moaning aside, I'm sure people still enjoyed the occasion, didn't they, Chris? Because, like, I don't know, certain team that plays in white, that people join to win trophies. You know, they don't get to see these things as often. It's a bit too regular for us. Maybe we are Man City, not just with Enzo, Chris. Maybe we are Man City, but when it comes to winning trophies, we win so many.
I know, and I have actually. I've spoken to a couple of Leeds fans, and I have sent them the number for their local premature ejaculation meetings. Yeah, obviously premature celebration they were suffering from.
Oh, yeah. What was it they were saying, Chris? We'd like to take the mick out of them. They predicted a riot. Well, there'll be riots if they don't win the playoffs. So it's going to be, yeah.
When I did my show Monday this week, I had other DJs messaging me from the station going, by God, you're roasting the Leeds fans this morning. And then Dave opened his show last night with 5 minutes of Leicester chants. So, followed by I predict a riot, in fairness. No, it's great playing something like, hot chocolate, everyone's a winner. And at the end saying, yes, but they're not Leeds, are they?
Wow. Who would be a Leeds fan, eh? Who would be a Leeds fan? You're right for spring, you're premature, and then it all goes wrong for them.
And your sister turns you down for the prom.
Well, yeah. They drew a light when she said yes, but then she turned around and said, actually, my cousin asked me, so I'm going with him.
Yes, exactly. But anyway, we're here talking predictions.
We certainly are, and to be fair, some of us have been like Leicester at predicting things, and others have been, well, like the aforementioned Leeds at making predictions. What do I mean about what, John? We've spoke about 4 different subjects in the past 5 minutes. You need to let me know which part it is.
We'll wait for him to answer. Yeah. It's been a topsy-turvy year, hasn't it? I'm sure you're glad to be back in the Premier League because, you've won it twice. Who won it the other time?
I would never, ever mention it that much.
No. Not like you used to be a goalkeeper. You never mentioned that either.
Breaking news, in case you didn't know, yes, I am a goalkeeper, and I am the 2-time Premier League prediction king. Some people say
we've only done 3.
Oh, well, 2 out of 3. Ask Meatloaf. It ain't bad.
And who won the 3rd?
Well, weren't you, were it? No, you didn't win it, did you? You're not top of the league. Spoiler alert. You're not the winner. You don't count.
No, I did win the 3rd Premier League one.
No, you didn't. I won it. I won both
you
of them.
You won 2 and I won 1.
No, you didn't. This is our 3rd. So how have you won 3? Come on. I know the maths is bad, Chris, at your age, but if we've only done 3 prediction leagues and I won the first 2, how have you won 3?
I'm sure we did 3 in the...
No, you won the Leicester one with Taggart and then what? That's the one you won. You won the
more important one, do you mean? The more important
you won the Carabao Cup. Sorry, I think there's a Queen Bee in our house, and
you're quite right.
I might be being distracted. There is a giant wasp in here, or a bee. I think it's a Queen Bee, and I'm cautious of what she's going to do. I'm going to see if I can open the window. Bear with me, folks. Chris, you entertain.
Brad is quite right, because I went up against the big boys. I went up against the ex-players and managed to beat them. And Brad he didn't even appear in that league. Let's be honest with you. John, I think he's referring to Tottenham Hotspur, if my memory serves me right, onto that conversation. And Doug is in. Good evening, Doug. But you're excited, aren't you? Oh, it's been a battle of the top two. Who will bottle it, though? Not the Premier League. I'm on about the important title, this one. Nobody's bothered about the Premier League. Well, there will be next season now. We're back, of course. And it's great to be back. Champions, you can just see there. 8 times. I think it is 8 times we have won the second tier, more than any other team ever. Only 6 teams have won 30 plus games in a season since the turn of the century. Only 6 teams, and 1 team has done it twice. In case you're wondering who it is, I could go on and on and on. We had the most wins, we had the most home wins, we had the most away wins, we had the best goal difference. I don't know who but of course we were not the best team in the league. That was Leeds, of course. We mustn't take the glory away from Leeds. I don't know what Brad is doing at the moment. I'll just carry on talking. Let me bring some more amazing facts up. Winning, you're quite right. You are quite right, John. Winning titles is not for everybody. No. Mind you, having said that, we nearly blew it, but we didn't. I see Robbie Savage is in the in Leicestershire live tonight. I'm delighted for Leicester City's promotion. Regret the moment my legacy was tarnished. No, he had a legacy, to be honest with you, but apparently he did. But there you go. He's come out and said that. And there's a straight back up. I wonder whether it's because obviously not living in Leicester. I didn't know whether to get the straight back up, the specialist copy. And but then again, I think, well, if I buy it, I'll read it once and it will go in a drawer to save and it will disappear. And kids aren't interested in that sort of thing. So, John, oh, come on. There was a little bit of doubt crept in. I certainly had a little bit of doubt. I was a little bit, a tad worried, as I am now, about a tad worried about whether Enzo's coming or going. But I don't know how long Brad's going to be. So let's make a start, because we could be here all night, to be honest with you. And this was only ever going to be a quick program. So Brad will have to join in when he gets back. So we're going to do this in stages. We're going to have a look at the relegation battle. And then, well, it's really a relegation battle, and then we'll look at the sort of the bottom half, the top half, and then right at the top. So let me just get rid of Brad. There we go. Let's do that for the time being. So what we're going to do now is we are going to there we go. That is the bottom 4. Now, the reason that I put Luke and Dave in red is because they joined late. And then Anthony and Brad are the 2 that have got under 300 points this season. I have to say, Luke only just 99 points behind Brad, and he had less than half a season to catch up. He also had 25 correct scores compared to Brad's 34. And Dave, if you ever seen Dave on one of these shows, I think he's done well to get 14th out of 14, to be honest with you. I didn't know exactly how he managed to get that. But look, he joined in, he took part. I've got to say, we'll talk about next seasons at the end, but we actually are going to be doing this next season, but obviously it will be a Premier League one. And we're getting all the presenters in next season. So me, Craig, Dave, Luke, Kate. So every one of us will be in. Might be able to see if I can get a few ex-players in as well. We'll have a look. We'll have a consideration. We will have a consideration about that. So those are the bottom 4. So it's a shame Brad's not here because I'm sure he would have liked to have seen where he is. But as we go a bit further up, and I can't say that I've been a lot better, to be honest with you. So if we go up slightly, there we go. There's the next section. The battle for 7th. Wasn't quite the battle for Europe, but Craig and me have been battling all season. I've managed to hold him off. Spencer is 10th with these are the low 300s. Spencer is 10th with 304 points, 43 correct scores. Shane D is 9th with 305 points and 45 correct scores. Craig didn't quite make it. He's 8th with 319 and 43 correct scores. 300 by 1 point. I beat him by 1 point. But you only need 1 point to win. 1 point. I came in 7th with 320 and 45 correct results. So Brad is back finally. I think the wasp he found was in Bolivia. I'm not sure, but let's just see if we can get him back in and make him the right size. Nice of you to join us, Brad.
Yeah, I'm still a bit optimistic. I'm a bit cautious. It's a giant hornet that we've got, and I don't know if he can't fly or something, but it's one of them. I'm not terrified or anything. I don't have a phobia of him, but you know what they're like. There's hornets. They can be vicious.
You just not flatten it.
Well, no, because they say with hornets, if they get in distress, they send a signal out, and then we could have loads of hornets in there. I've opened a window. And hoping it trying to find its way out because no exaggeration. You know when like people who are afraid of spiders are like that big and they say it's like the size of your house. This one is a genuine size hornet, and I'm just a little bit like, don't fly in my direction. It's my room, mate. It's my room.
Welcome to the BBC Wildlife Channel.
I know, right? We need David Attenborough. Here is the giant hornet.
Here we're looking at the table. Brad, 11th. You didn't get over the 300-point line.
No, I actually had a stinker of the last few weeks. I was a bit, I don't know what league team you would call me, maybe Middlesbrough or something like that. I had a surge at the mid-table. I was catching you. I was looking good, and then
Sheffield
fell
Wednesday
away.
Came to mind with you, mate.
Well, I mean, position-wise, I'll take me in Sheffield Wednesday. At least I'm not the Rotherham brothers at the bottom, but
no, but in fairness, they had less than half a season,
yeah.
and nearly caught you up.
Yeah, and in fairness to Anthony as well, I don't know if he'll be returning next season, but he hasn't bothered for the last 3 weeks. He's been stuck on 271 for weeks, so him not participating helped me out.
Can I just say the question I have to ask you though is how did Dave manage 14th? I mean, I'm surprised he was as high as that.
I think he slipped me a few £20 here and over PayPal to give him some points because I'm pretty sure he's 6-2s, he's 7-1s, he's 4-3s, he's 9-8s. I think he was watching rugby instead of football with some of his predictions. That's as you rightly know, mate.
I know. Well, we did a review show last night and Tuesday night. Sorry, no, last night, Thursday, and his player of the season. He agreed with me, and then he agreed with Kate, who had somebody different. But then his choice was completely different to the both of us. So that kind of sums Dave's prediction powers up.
It certainly does. For a man who said that we was going to win against, I think it was Coventry, was scared that we might lose the game and then end up predicting a draw, he'd make a crap weatherman, wouldn't he? It looks like the sun, but it could be rain, so prepare for snow. You wouldn't know what to do with Dave.
Well, of course, that is why Michael Jackson used to wear one glove because of Dave's weather forecast. Because they said, if you go outside today, it could be sunny, but on the other hand, it might be wet and cold. Thank you. I'm here all week. Get on to surreyhillsradio.co.uk and listen to me every morning between 7 and 10 a.m. So I'm afraid I have to I'd have to say you survived by the skin of your teeth. I bet you're glad I asked Dave and Luke in now, aren't you? But
I really am.
I've not done an
Really
awful lot better, I have to say. I mean, I've got 320 points. You were a lot further behind me at one stage, and you managed to claw it back a little bit. Craig, who was quite a way below me, he actually overtook me, but I managed to get one more point than him. And let's be honest, 1 point, at the end of the day, they won't remember that it's 1 point when they look back on this. They'll see that I was 300, I was 7th and he was 8th.
That is very true, Chris. And I said to you when I sent the league table over this afternoon, I said you were very lucky because Craig will be kicking himself for a week or so that I think he missed one or some dodgy results that he got right, but the wrong way round. Because, Chris, he beat you this week in terms of points totaled, but he fell one shy because you got 7 points. Craig got a whopping 11.
Wow.
And that nearly clawed it back. But this just shows how it's been this season. I mean, like you said, Chris, you can already see it there. 304 and 305. The difference between Shane Downs and Spencer. And it continues throughout, doesn't it? Like I say, you and Craig separate by a point. And trust me, guys, it doesn't get any further apart than that when we go up the table, does it, Chris?
No, it doesn't. And had Craig got one more correct score, which would have given him an extra 2 points, that still wouldn't have, that would have what he would have needed. Because if
because you would have held it on goal difference, which
exactly.
For those who maybe haven't seen us throughout the season, the reason there's a number next to it, every result that everybody got spot on has been worth 3 points. So it was just as vital to get the points and get it right in a way as it was to make sure you got it spot on. May I just say, if we was only doing Sheffield Wednesday predictions, I think I would have won it this season, because guess who got the Sheffield Wednesday result spot on? I mean, I only got 5 points, so 3 out of my 5 points came from Sheffield Wednesday.
That kind of sums your season up. But talking about summing the season up, John says there, doesn't he? Last few weeks were very difficult to predict. I mean, since week 1, this league has been difficult to predict, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. And I'd probably say the start and the finish is usually the hardest to predict, because at the start, we don't know how teams are going to go on. A team that you think might get in the playoffs might have a bad start and they might be down in 20th. And then teams at the end, usually with the championship, there's a bit more to play for. There wasn't too much at stake, was there, this season? There was only half chances, wasn't there? I know we had that 4-way battle down at the bottom for one spot, because realistically, Huddersfield were beat before the game kicked off, let's face it. So, and there was that playoff spot, which again was outside. It wasn't as close as you can be in a championship. Normally in a championship, Chris, I'm sure Leicester fans alike in the chat will remember, we had a day when, there was, I think it was us, Forest and Bolton, and Knockout scored that winner to take us into the playoffs. And that chopped and changed throughout the game. We didn't really have that at the end of the season. So when it came down to the last 2 or 3 weeks of the season, Chris, the majority of the league knew where they were. And you saw a bit of beach football, didn't you, really? Some of the results. I mean, look at Rotherham's. Some people did score points by just giving Rotherham a win out of pity, probably more than anything. But they won 5-2 on the last game of the season. I don't think they've scored 5 goals in the last 6 weeks, Chris, let alone scoring 5.
Our goal difference was bigger than their goals scored. Let me just say that. But yeah, it's been a completely and utterly wacky season. At the start of the season, you'd have put money on Leicester winning every week, and then we start. It's like I'm glad to get back to the Premier League just for some decent prediction chances. And of course, if all else fails, now anything we disagrey with you, Brad, we can actually ask VAR.
I know, right? I'll be using VAR to make sure I win it again next season.
You need more than VAR, I'll tell you. Okay, let's have a look at the top half, shall we? And the next two are very close as well. Steve, 326 in 6th. 6 points clear of me, so I don't think I was ever going to catch him. And Jeff, 327. And they both had 54 correct scores. Well done to those two. Don't know how they managed that, but I mean that's probably almost as close as it gets.
Yeah, it really is, and Steve will be absolutely kicking himself because I have double checked, triple checked, quadruple checked. Steve, he did an Anthony, I'm afraid. He choked at the end, and Chris, it shows you how hard a job you had to try and catch up to get into the top 6 because Steve did not give me any predictions for the final game week. So Jeff, who I don't think I remember rightly, he had the greatest of ending to the seasons. I think he picked up maybe 5 or 6 points, but he'll be thankful that Steve did him a favour by being a no-show because it's made the league look a lot tighter than it was as well.
Yes, yeah. And Jeff was sort of at the start of the season. He was up there, wasn't he? You know,
He was challenging the top spot. In fact, you could have called you. I know you said it about yourself earlier, Chris, but I reckon you could call Jeff the Preston of the division because at the start he was at the top. He was setting a benchmark, and now he's fallen short of the Champions League spot, hasn't he? He's not done well. He's done very well as a season, but he hasn't quite managed to recapture that early season form to have pushed on to a chance to have potentially won himself some prizes.
Yeah, exactly. Nate's in. Hi, Nate. Dino's in. Hi, Dino. Right. I don't know. I suppose I'd be Millwall, I guess. Didn't
don't be that mean to him. Come on.
No, me.
Oh yeah, you. No, you're Stoke, mate.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I'll take Stoke over Millwall.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go the next level up. Oh God, Doug.
I know. You know what? Breaking news: Doug's just been investigated for FFP, for financial fair predictions, and just for that joke, Doug. Oh no!
You've got a 5-point deduction. Yes. Oh my God! Please don't tell me we're going to have this next season. No. This is war. You realise you started the war here, don't you? Don't you, Doug? Right. Next one up. Let's have a look. Are we getting anywhere near the top yet? I wonder. I can't remember where I went. No, but we do look at the 4th and 3rd. And again, there's literally 1 point in it. Honestly, with knowing how you've done this season with your addition, Brad, it's very spot on. But you got 337 for Nate with 51 correct scores. 3rd is John, and we've got to say well done to John. Coming 3rd in this league is really good. 338 with 46. So that's only, for example, like one more correct score than myself, but obviously he gets better, generally. But like you say, every one of these positions is so tight.
Yeah, they are. And again, once Jeff fell off the boil a little bit after the early season, him, Nate, and John were chopping and changing, just like you and Craig and Steve were. You chopped and changed. I don't know, Nate. I don't know. I haven't got the book with me to double check. I'd have to grab it, but I don't think he had 8 points. I know someone had a really bad one. But yeah, John picked the post. He's on the medals podium. Unfortunately, John, maybe next year we'll have a word backstage afterwards. Well, me and Crystal. 3rd, unfortunately, we can't even afford to give you your BFH, your bus fare home, I'm afraid. But very well done, John. Obviously, well done to everybody in this thing. But well done, John. You managed to get in the top 3. You get yourself gold, nice little yellowy gold colour next to your name, John. Yeah. So you feel special and important.
Now, this 2nd and 1st, it has, well, we had a Leicester, didn't we? Because we had a runaway leader for a long, long time.
Yes.
And then he fell away.
Yes, and then he turned into Leeds United. He fell away. And then going into it, Chris, well, there wasn't really much up for grabs at the top of the Championship, was there, in real life? Leicester had won it, and Ipswich, barring a shock, we're not going to throw away 2nd place, were they? So, but this one went into it, Chris, And all I'm saying is, for those who know the names, there was 2 people left in particular. Those who know. And going into this, it would have needed an overturn, I believe, of second place at game week 45. Needed 3 more points, I believe, than who was top. And
Are we ready?
And did they do it though? Did Doug return back to blue of Leicester, or is he the Leeds United of it?
Wow. Shall we find out?
It's coming home, it's coming home, it's coming. Football's coming home, it's coming home, it's coming home, it's coming.
It's not actually, it's going to Scotland. Well done to Doug.
Well done, Doug. You did your best to try and be a Leeds fan in disguise, but you were Leicester in the end by the skin of your teeth. You know, your wild predictions nearly cost you. He had some strange predictions. He had a few bad weeks. But you have to feel sorry for Shane because he didn't actually have that bad a week in comparison to the rest of us as well. But that spawny look of Doug's where he goes for a random score in a game that no one else goes for paid off. And he got one more added on, I think it was, to his correct result title. And that ultimately is what swung the league title back into Doug's favour. I mean, Shane, what a hero, because you look at the gap between him and John, he was the only one that was keeping pace with the runaway leader.
I think Doug was second last week, wasn't he? So
yes, that's what I mean. It was changed hands.
Yeah.
You know, Shane was in front for about the last 3 weeks of the season, and going into this one, Chris, he had it all in his hands, but unfortunately, some bizarre results and a little bit of luck. In league table forms, Doug is the Leicester of the division, but in all fairness, he's like the Ipswich Town because he just managed to secure it on the last day of the season like Ipswich. But well done to Doug. Congratulations. Probably overall, people won't begrudge the fact that you've managed to do it. Although it is typical in an LTiD Leicester City channel that we are, it's a Liverpoolian that wins something. I suppose, Doug, if you want to send your prizes to Klopp, he'll have something to celebrate to add to his trophy wins for this season.
Yeah,
we'll
oh no, I think Liverpool. They won a trophy. I think didn't they win?
They won the Energy Drink Cup, so it don't count.
That was the one. That was the one. I don't know. I think Doug's gone. Actually, I don't think he's still in. What I need you to do, Doug, is if you can send or message what's your name, Brad, with your contact details. He will forward them on to Steve, and Steve will send. He told me yesterday we'll send the prizes on to you. I was hoping Steve would come on. He did stick his thumbs up when I asked him, but in his job, you just never know when he can get away. So yes, and look, you know, second for Shane. I've got to say, well done to Shane. 61 correct scores. That is no mean feat in this league, is it?
No, and it just shows you, had he got a couple of more results dead on, he would have won it on the goal difference because, as you see there, Chris, he is head and shoulders above anybody else. I mean, he was 5 more correct results than Doug was, and then I think, if I've looked down it correctly, Jeff, who had a good one. Again, Jeff and Steve at 54. Ultimately, for them, it didn't really mean anything, but it would have been interesting had it come down to that, Chris. And it just shows how important it is to really think these critical predictions through, because I know we're going to talk about it a bit later on, but Chris, that is what's could potentially help you win what most people are calling the most boring division in England next season, because predicting scores, getting going 10-0 Man City against Forest will do you no favours. If everybody else goes 3-0 and that's the scoreline, you need to be getting your scores predictions. So keep your heads on next season if you're going to be involved, because that is impressive. And it's almost a shame to say finish second.
Yeah, and I got to say, Doug has popped back here. I don't know if he went or whatever. I don't know if you heard me, Doug. Get your details over to Brad. He'll send them on to Steve, and Steve will forward you your prize. So that's it. the end of a season. Less games next season, but we will be back next season. But we'll be limited. We will probably do a separate show that will explain what's happening next season. There we go. There, just saying prizes supplied by ex-player Steve Linux and Foxy 7 Clothing. And say next season, there you go. Premier League predictions, Brad. You must be feeling confident that you're going to maybe. But I may invite a few ex-players in, rather the big boys in.
Yeah, we'll see. See, you can take down the two-time champ. The two-time champ. I sound like Booker T with his 5-time WCW.
The problem is, I don't think we'll get any ex-players in, because asking them to predict the Leicester score is one thing, but asking them to predict 10 a week, they probably won't be too happy about.
No, maybe not, but who knows, Chris? Maybe you can get them back in for a single one on the side, so you can at least win something, Chris. Make you feel better. That might cheer you up more.
So, well, I need something because I feel what my neck hurts because I've been looking down at you all bloody season. So...
Oh, here we go. I'll tell you what. Yeah, I'll tell you what. You sound like a Tottenham fan singing "We won the London Derby trophy of the Audi Cup." That's what you're doing, Chris. Oh dear, shameless as always. Shameless, mate.
Shameless, mate, shameless. And I'm going to do, talking about shameless, a shameless plug. I just want to put this up here and say thank you to all of our members or Patreons, as the Americans call them. It's only $1.99 a month. It really does help the channel. Thank you to everybody that does that. Really, really, really do appreciate it. If you want to do it, details are below. Don't stop because it's the off season. We've still got to run the website and we've still got to pay for things to do the graphics that you see come up and run the website. So they still need to be done. So please do carry on subscribing. And if you're new, do please consider becoming a member. It's $1.99, and you've got the option. Once you become a member, all you've got to do is message me, and we can get you on this show. Or any show, to be honest with you. We can get you on any show. But we could do that next season, couldn't we, Brad? We could have a guest on every week.
We could have a guest on to be brave and give their predictions live, so everybody can laugh at them when they come back on the week after and say how bad they've done, or maybe just like John said, be very smug because they've beat me for a week next season. That's how it might go. For him. So yeah, guys.
The bigger you build yourself up, the further you've got to fall, mate.
Yeah, well, I was kind of hoping Enzo was sticking to his 5-year plan so I could live off it for another 4 seasons. But now I've got to back it up, haven't I? So that's Man City winning every week, Man U losing to Crystal Palace, Tottenham winning fuck all. All right, I've got at least 3 games a week I can predict right then, ain't I?
Yeah, you have. And I've got to say before we go, it's not the one I thought it was. Don't forget, whilst I've got this up, the Leicester Till I Die end of season awards. All us guys picked our nominations, and they were picked via Rob Tanner, or from Rob Tanner, who is obviously the LCFC representative at The Athletic. He was very kind enough. I sent him the nominations through a couple of days before the show, and he picked his winners. He only agreed with 2 from me, which, well, some would argue that he knows more about football than me. I can't say that. I don't think he was. I just think he was wrong, and I can't find the. Oh, here we go. This was what I was going to say, Rob.
Your opinion is wrong.
There you go. But no, thank you very much. That's still up there on the LTV site, so really do appreciate it. Go and check it out if you've not seen it. The last day watch along, by the way, we have got 15,906 views on it. So if you've not watched it, please go and have a look. Just if you have to watch it for 2 seconds, just so I get the views. I want to get to that 16,000. It's the what do they call it when you get annoyed about things like that?
OCD.
That's the OCD of me that wants to get to 16k. Brad, thank you so very much for running this season.
Yeah,
really
it's been a pleasure.
Appreciate it.
No, it's been a pleasure, guys. And I know there's only a few of them in chat, but I will put it in the group chat those of you that have taken part this year, first of all, a big, huge thank you for you guys getting involved, because otherwise this would be a really awkward 46 weeks we'd have done this for if there'd only been 3 or 4 of us. And if they want to get involved again next season, it's kind of like season ticket sales. It's going to go to their offer first, but we will do more of an announcement, won't we, about next season and when how people who maybe didn't get involved this year and want to get involved next year, how we're going to do it and how they can get involved. But yes, thanks to everybody. And again, keep your eye on the group chat, guys, because I will put a message in there either later tonight or tomorrow about asking you if you want to be in or not and what you need to do.
And John, we're going to end with this because I think it's a great comment to end on. You won't be smug next season, Brad. No, he won't.
No, it's just so hard not to look smug in these situations.
I haven't got it. Yes, I am.
I know, I did it.
It's so difficult not to look smug at this point.
But then again, you see, it's like if you're in a horse race and there's only 3 horses, you've got to, let's be honest with you, no disrespect to Steve, one of those horses was Steve. So you only really had to finish first or second. In the Big Boys League this year, where you've got all the, about 14 of us in, where was he? Top? No. We'll see, Brad. We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see. Like I said, like we say, no, we're going to say next season, Chris. The championship is so last year. That's what I'll be saying when I'm doing well.
I'll have to do a new one of those, won't I? But anyway, thank you, Brad. I've got to say, very well done to Ipswich for coming up with us. What a great season they've had. Back-to-back promotions. I would say Leeds United, I predict a playoff. There we go. And I've got to say, good luck Southampton in the playoffs. I'd love them to come up. Brad, thank you so very much, sir. I'm sure we'll be doing something over the summer. We can't go a week without seeing each other. But thank you very much. And let's finish, as I'll say, it's good night from me.
It's good night from him.
Good night, guys.
Good night, everybody.
Thanks for watching. These videos are tremendous. You better like them too, or I'll be back.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.
That will conclude this evening's entertainment.